Apparently, schools are reopening or opening at a time when it's very difficult for teachers to want to report for duty for technical and logistical reasons. One, many heads are currently at the marking stations. Many teachers, likewise, are also at the marking stations. So if anybody is going to come and give a global situation of the returning of teachers to classroom, they will not necessarily be telling the truth, because there are several teachers at various O-level marking centers dotted all over the country. Point number one. Point number two, those that have turned or those that are supposed to come back are failing simply because they don't have the resources to turn up for duty. One, because transport is now in US dollar terms, and people can't afford that. So teachers are incapacitated because they can't travel. The costs have almost become, if you look at the costs when we went on lockdown, Zupco prices are almost tenfold from what they were the last time. So in terms of the capacity to travel and turn up for duty, for the avoidance of doubt, I will tell you that at the PTUZ level, we lost about 23 teachers that we can obviously put down their names and say such a teacher, such a teacher. And the truth of the matter is, on the ground, the impact was felt. And we don't want a repeat of that. And apparently it was purely because teachers went for marking. There wasn't any proper protocols that were followed when they got there. There was no adherence to the set down procedures and standards and requirements that one would have wanted, those that are being agitated for by the World Health Organization and other health institutions. So we don't want to be found wanting in that particular regard. Look at it from this vantage point. For funerals, we are told 50 people. For weddings, we are told 30 people. I'm not sure if I'm not mixing the figures. Then for school reopening, suddenly we are told that 2,000 people can come and converge at a school where there's no water, where there's only one bucket, 20 liters of water in the 500 ml bottle of sanitizers whose efficacy has not been tested or tried. So this is where the problem is, because we are simply saying to government, if you really are serious that schools must reopen, provide the teachers with the necessary PPEs that they're asking for, provide the sanitizers, provide basic things like water. All of a sudden, we found the Minister of Finance saying schools without water cannot reopen. All these 7-8 months that schools were closed, government did not go out there to deal with this issue of water. And as far as we are concerned, we know if you go to Chitungwiza, if you go to Mavuku, if you go to Tafara, the schools don't have adequate water to address the water challenges that are obviously the prerequisite for making sure that we adhere to the principles and guidelines set by World Health Organizations and many other entities. So as far as we are concerned, we are found wanting in that regard. And teachers are basically victims because we want the job and because it is where we work. We are ultimately getting into schools where there's not been any testing, and we are still waiting for the vaccine to come. Like in this particular situation, the frontline staffers have obviously benefited from the vaccine. We know the soldiers, we know the people in the health sector have all gotten their jabs. And for teachers, we are still talking about it. And the teachers are saying, if it is there, give us the vaccine. But at the end of the day, I can't stand up and say the teachers go and vaccinated, because it's an independent decision from that person. And one would want to believe that if government then stands up and says, we have the vaccines ready, teachers will, on their own volition, queue up and say, come and give us the jab that we need, because that then becomes the first line of defense. But as far as we are concerned, as far as we know, teachers are yet to receive that jab, and we are waiting for it to happen.